the top of the tower as quick as you can. Smash the crates for bonus points.
Welcome to a gimmicky
3, 2,
Stunt Track Challenge
go.
run through. We're gonna try to get as few points as possible here as Swoopy-Doo.
Smash those
So there was some
crates.
stuff I wanted to talk about though. This is actually normally probably my favorite event in the game. So it's gonna be weird playing it differently like this. But there's some things I want to talk about too though, in regards to this series. As I play through this, I'm almost halfway through already and I've found that I want to talk about any such things. So one thing is,
We're coming to you live from high above the
talking a little bit
Stunt
about
Track
what it was
Challenge
like.
Stadium in the medium lift.
I'm not pressing the gas. What it was like coming up with stuff for this series.
Tough break.
Oh jeez. I don't get points if I just don't do any spins. Actually, I can just do
Oh,
that.
sweet landing. Yeah.
I could have been getting even fewer points each time, actually, now that I think about it.
We're looking down for the
You can go back, you can wait for 0 to show up.
Stunt Track Challenge Stadium. And I gotta
But,
tell
for
ya,
instance,
it's a beautiful day out there.
plans changed a lot throughout this whole series as it went on. I didn't usually say anything about that because I was trying to, keep it to be a story to be followed and not just, like, there's a certain degree of opacity I want to maintain, that sort of thing, I guess you might say.
Nicely done.
Did you just say that's the ground? I don't remember hearing Future Groundstorm say that. But for instance, even with Velocity X, when I played through it again in the bus, my decision as for what to do with that hinged on a little bit on how Rolls-Royce Driver turned out. Only a little bit. My intention was, of course, to play through the game as a bus regardless of what happened. It would be framed differently in each case, though. If the Organics won, then it would be Danny having opened up his own driving school after everything blew over. If
Be careful, there's nothing
the
on
robots
sides to hold
had
you on
won,
this
then it would
ride.
be the robots taking over and putting together their own driving school for robots.
Careful on this section.
And forcing Organics to work the same way that the robots are forced to work at it now.
Get the boost.
No boost.
Time to get moving.
Whoa, what kind of landing was that? Swoopy-Doo, what's your deal? What oh, the low target is actually considered a target for some reason. It's weird. Lewis, you got a time bonus of 5. What? Swoopy-Doo can't even be the best worst. I don't know how this happens. And, well, the thing is, though, I couldn't come up with like, little where are they now blurbs for each character unless I knew how that ended, though, so I couldn't come up with any of that until after World's Best Driver was finished, but that's just a perspective, for instance, on how that was going to go. So I've framed that differently. I was actually, to some degree, hoping... Who are we going to play as here? Oh. Resume what I was talking about after I say you were playing as. Play as Danny. Otto's in this race, so you know what we're going to do here. Aggression! Specifically against Otto. But anyone else is also fair game, of course.
Okay, get ready to race.
But as I was saying,
2, 1.
I kind of, to some degree, I hoped the robots would win, even though I didn't do anything to influence that actively at any point.
Up on the side strip.
Because I thought it'd be a lot more interesting to come up with stories for everyone if the robots had won. Because essentially the organics were fighting to maintain the status quo. So if they won, then it would basically just be what happens afterwards, so everyone just goes back to their lives or something. So instead, what I focused on is more what they do after the whole thing blows over and if their lives change or anything. Anyone who decides, for instance, to retire from racing. I wonder to what degree I can actually just, like, stop another racer. Like, how much they can push my car. Or how much I can change... I like how Alex and Bern are right next to each other. How much I can change their standings.
You might want to take some scuba lessons.
Yeah, sorry. These guys, all in a pack. This big pack of 4 races right here, jeez. Oh, good job.
Jump ramp ahead. Try a stunt. Nice landing.
Come on. There's also fair game, of course. Where was I again? It's easy to get distracted from whatever was going on by... Okay, I managed to guess that everyone was going to do... I'm going to take the higher jump there. Interesting. Ah, get moving. Sometimes you can just stabilize someone a little bit by kind of fitting them. Sometimes you can. It's a little weird. What was I talking about? Oh, so hoping the robots would win. Because if the robots win... I like how the program racing line for auto here actually involves hitting. Ah. That. Mine. But... So if the robots won, then I'd actually have to come up with what would happen to them all in that new world. Which could be pretty interesting. Darn it. Oh, you're not gonna get away. Back here. Ah, darn bumpy things. I'll steal my flames.
Stay off the red.
Or at least not gonna get first.
You're in the top 3.
Or get in front of me, I mean. Alex managed to push ahead. And because of Danny, was almost 10 seconds behind the competition. But still. Oh! Pff, Otto got back at me there. Otto landed on Danny. Jeez. But I didn't have many specific ideas. Some characters would probably just kind of fall into the shadows for their own protection, and other characters would end up being enslaved in some capacity or another. But I didn't think too hard about it because I just never ended up having a need to, since Organics won. By 1 point, mind you. Just to think how differently things could be in the last game I played as a result of, and as well as all the little where are they now types of stories I'm giving out, how different those all could have been if that one event turned out slightly differently with Track T. Nobody's seen Track T, by the way. Still nobody's seen Track T ever since that happened. One little thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go back to episode 1. Which race do I want to do? I'll do this one. We have more races than we have, or we have more cars than we have races, so we're gonna have some cases of having to go back. In this case, I'll go back to Jurassic Gen to play as Slide Out. So that's the Slide Out story. Oh, I never said what Bedlam's story was. I'm sorry. Bedlam's story.
Get ready to race.
What Bedlam did after they left. After this whole thing flew over. They weren't a member of the Golden Tetrad forever, as is the case with just about everyone. Bedlam. Alright, I have it written down here. Right here. Bedlam moved on to Demolition Derby, still driving, of course, placing among the best, showing off their fighting prowess that was incomparable to the rest of the Golden Tetrad. But we were looking at a slingshot, or not slingshot, with Slide Out. So Slide Out moved on to rally events. Well, Slide Out was always in rally events, I guess, but continues to be a top competitor in rally events. So here the idea of slingshot. I keep saying slingshot, Slide Out. They're very similar names, mind you. See, we're just gonna try to. Oops. Whatever. We're not the fastest of cars, anyways. See, we're not gonna try to be aggressive or anything like that. We're gonna try to spend as much time, quote unquote, off-road as possible, which I mean doesn't really mean a lot, considering that everything's on a road in this game. Unfortunately, everything's always on a track. But we can at least do everything we can to plow through. Oh, fine. This feels like off-road too. But plow through any rocks or any cones we see, for instance. Hey, Grad. Feels weird seeing somebody and not aggressing them.
Up some booster flames.
Slide up feels a lot more at home when not on a road.
Get some flames.
Roads feel too strict and restricting. Of course, in rally events, you still have paths to follow and whatnot anyway, so I don't know how much difference it really makes. Maybe they just don't like asphalt.
Into the big loop with the backbone. Yeah, don't look down.
I would look down if I could. I don't think I can control the camera that way. Rock! I want to hit the cones on the left the next time. There's only cones here to be found, actually. I'm not really trying in any particular capacity to race well, but I'm also not like doing anything that should make me race really badly, so it's interesting to see that I'm actually not placing very well. Of course, who would expect Slide Out to beat out Alex in a race anyways?
Look out for that rock fall.
Boom! Of course, I am actually deliberately hitting obstacles of various sorts. That is slowing me down. And I'm using a car that takes longer to get back up to speed after that. And I'm taking these turns wide, which is a lot slower. Ah!
A good spin. Nicely done.
Come on, Alex, this is your chance, man. Race game is pretty darn large. The race game has a very variable size. The race game is massive here. This
Get
is
some flames.
about the size of a car. What's that guy just on the left? Whereas back in
Back into the mouth.
the cutscenes with Drifting Around Storm, the race game's a good deal smaller than Drifting Around Storm. How does Kick Rolls even manage to finish these events? Kick Rolls is an expert at performing as poorly as possible while still qualifying. I don't know how they do that. Like, they're even maybe better at Swoop Eater than doing that. Maybe Kick Rolls and Swoop Eater are related somehow, or maybe they're just like mortal enemies, both trying to out badly perform each other or something like that. Anyways, I just finished this one, don't I? Yeah. Okay. Dig Island.
Welcome back to Stunt Track Challenge. The show's really heating up now. You may have survived Buccaneer Bay, but it's time to light your tiki torches for a run around Tiki Island. Show 'em, Racecam. Tiki Island looks seriously spooky, so don't lose your head out there. Remember, finish third or higher at the end of the show to move on. The challenge instructions are being sent to your car's onboard computer now. Get ready to play Stunt Track Challenge.
Airborne. Okay. I guess I'll finish off this episode with...
Jumping the furthest. Avoid 3, 2.
I probably shouldn't skip Drifting Around Storm's dialogue. This is the last we're going to hear of it. But do one last round as
Get some flames. Get some
this
flames.
guy. I guess another character that's kind of an honorable mention that actually end up last one. End up in this series would be Carly, whatever her name is. She's also not
Danger ahead.
driving anything here. She's not the best at driving anything in the first place.
Get some flames.
Oh, come on. In fact, I should say what she did, because I have her on the list. I already went over Danny, so it'd be appropriate to go over her. Where is she? So I hinted at this before. She lost interest in Danny when he showed signs of mellowing out with the whole driving school thing, which isn't totally true, but at least it's not full-on crazy psycho all the time like it used to be. So she bounces between lovers, accruing a questionable reputation in Monument City, apparently. Interesting direction for things to go with her.
Get points for jump 3, 2, 1.
But just to close up that little end as well,
Heads up.
leave nothing
That's it. Booster flames. You can use those.
unacknowledged. And some of these things are in really
Get some flames.
perilous positions.
Good air.
I appreciate the uvula.
Whoa.
That was a pretty solid performance, I feel like. Yeah, that's a really good score. I wonder how many points you can get for 2 wheels. Like, that might be the way to get the actual best possible score, doing 2 wheels the whole time, too. It's pretty good. Alex isn't here, which is weird, because it's supposed to be the top 3 advance. But then Alex doesn't advance. In fact, I don't think we have anybody from the previous episode here. Do we? I always expect continue to bring me to the next event, but it doesn't. It brings you to the menu again. So finish off this episode by taking a look at that. So who's in first here? We have myself, Alex, and Elmer. And then these guys. Where's the sense in that? So here we have Alex and Hab. Hab isn't here. In fact, Lewis is in fourth. Well, John is in fifth. Okay, so we have two guys come from here, Alex and John. Alex and John are here too. This one we have Lewis and Alex. Lewis and Alex. I think those are the only ones that return. Yeah. So you have Solomon. And who else? And Fisher? Yeah. How'd the guy in last end up going to the next episode and then still being in last? So you do have 3 people can go on to each next episode, but it's not actually consistent with who scores what, except for the fact that Alex usually gets the highest score until he just disappears. I think if you look at how Alex tends to do in the races here in Buccaneer Bay, they're not supposed to get the highest scores, but they are, like, their predetermined scores for each of the events puts them in first anyways. So, I don't know. Like, the devs are the ones who decided who gets what placing, pretty much. Their performance in the races can vary slightly, but it's still obvious they're supposed to be intended to get certain scores. But they have predetermined scores in all the other events. So they basically predetermine who gets what, who moves on, or who gets what score, what placement in the final standings. But then, they just move on separate different characters entirely into the next round. That's weird. So they pay attention to detail of bringing characters into the next round from the previous one, but it's not the right ones. That's really weird. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time in the next episode of our little gimmick playthrough of Stunt Track Challenge here. I don't expect this to be longer than 10 episodes, but we'll see. We will have a small number of races to redo, the same way we did one slide out earlier. But that aside, it's pretty much just another run through the game with some different perspectives on how to play it, I guess. Anyways, see you next time, everyone.